Welcome everybody to CTA's virtual veteran career fair. We're so excited to have you on the call with us today, and we are really excited to share information about CTA, the positions that we have open, how you can apply to those, and also some tips that our veterans can use to help them stand out in their application as they are looking for jobs at CTA. My name is Lindsay Estupinian, and I am a member of the Marketing Outreach and Engagement team here at CTA. With me on the call today are several of my colleagues, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves as well. I'm going to go ahead and start with our veterans who are on the call today. So Frank, can you introduce yourself?
Good afternoon. My name is Frank Gressick. I am the General Manager of Occupational Safety and Environmental Compliance. And I also am the chairperson for the Veteran Employee Resource Group, VERG.
Okay, thank you, Frank. Jessica, can you introduce yourself?
Good afternoon. My name is Jessica Jordan. I'm the Senior Administration Manager for the Bus Maintenance and the Rail Maintenance Department.
Thank you, Jessica. Now I'm going to shift over to my recruitment colleagues, and some of them are veterans as well. Start with Tamika. Oh, Tamika, you're muted.
Thank you, Lindsay. Good afternoon. My name is Tamika L. Singleton, a talent acquisition specialist with the Human Resources Department. I served in the United States Marine Corps and the United States Army, respectively. I retired from the U.S. Army in 2018.
Thank you, Tamika. And Juan.
Alrighty. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Juan Vargas. I'm also a talent acquisition specialist in the Human Resources Department at CTA. I served in the Marine Corps for 10 years. I actually got out earlier this year and joined CTA in February.
All right. Thank you, Juan.
My
Lindsay,
apologies, Lindsay.
Can I jump in? I'm sorry. I forgot to say what, and I think Jessica's going to do the same thing. We both forgot to put in what branch of service we were in. So I was in the United States Army. I am a retired Command Sergeant Major, and I joined the Chicago Transit Authority 9 years ago.
Yeah, Frank is correct. Forgot to mention it. I was in the United States Army as well. I did 8 years, and I joined the Chicago Transit Authority 10, will be 11 in March, so about almost 11 years ago.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody, for sharing your background and sharing your role here at CTA. So we're going to move on now to just a couple of notes for everybody who is on the call for our attendees. We have a lot of questions that you all sent to us through registration, so we're really grateful for those. We're going to take some time to answer them at the end. But if you do have questions as we go along today, feel free to use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to submit those questions, and we'll take a look. And if we have time to get to some of those, we will. Also want to draw your attention to the fact that we have enabled closed captioning. So if you would like to turn those on to get the words at the bottom of your screen, there should be another button at the bottom of your screen as well. That should enable you to do that. To give you an agenda for today, we're going to spend some time first talking to our recruitment team. They're going to share an overview of CTA, some of the positions and lines of business that we have, and also our recruitment process and benefits. And then we're going to shift to that Q&A that I mentioned, where we're going to ask some questions that were submitted and hear more from our veteran colleagues. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Juan, who's going to share a little bit about that CTO overview and recruitment process.
All righty. Thank you, Lindsay. Good afternoon, all, once again. So to start off, we're going to be going over CTA's mission statement. Now, our mission is to deliver quality, affordable transit services that link people, jobs, and communities. Every day I'm asked, what does this mean to me? Well, this means exactly what it sounds like. It seems like this company is doing exactly what it needs to do for us in order to be successful in life. Now, other than that question, I'm asked, how does CTA do this? How does CTA do all of this phenomenal stuff? And I'll tell you by giving you a brief overview of CTA. Next slide, please. Now, CTA does all of this amazing stuff with over approximately 10,000 employees serving in union and non-union positions. A union position would be such like a bus operator, bus driver. A non-union position will be such as the position I'm in, a talent acquisition specialist, okay? Now, CTA serves Chicago and its 35 surrounding area suburbs with over 130 bus routes and 8 rail lines. We have locations all throughout Chicago to include our headquarters building, which is located at 567 West Lake Street, 7 bus garages, 9 rail terminals, and much more. Now, what I would like to go over next with you all is diversity at CTA. Now, CTA is a diverse organization and has been for a very long time. We employ people from nearly every neighborhood and zip code in Chicago. We are currently led by Dover Carter, who is our first African-American president and is a champion of transit equity for our city. At the authority, we value diversity, equity, and inclusion. The Diversity Task Force and Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging Council advise on initiatives that celebrate diversity and educate CTA employees on how to cultivate more equitable and inclusive engagement in the workplace. We want to ensure that safe, reliable transit services and career opportunities at CTA are available to everyone. At CTA and in compliance with ADA regulations, we ensure our facilities and vehicles are accessible to people with disabilities, and we also make sure that anyone who requires an accommodation in their application process or in their workplace are able to request needs-based accommodations. While we're proud of the diversity that is already present at CTA and has been for a very long time, we also acknowledge that there is always more we can do to provide a diverse, equitable, and inclusive workplace. That's why we continue day by day to recruit through organizations to help us attract individuals with diverse backgrounds and perspectives who can contribute to our growth and development as an organization. Now, enough from me. What I would like to do now is hand it over to my colleague, Tamika, to pick up on the careers that CTA has to offer you all.
Thank you, Juan. All right, CTA careers. So the Chicago Transit Authority offers a wide range of career opportunities available across all areas of the agency, from entry level to management positions. Our employees are part of 6 significant lines of business: operations and maintenance, infrastructure, administration, law, and technology. Next slide. Operations and maintenance. All right, so bus operations. Our operations department is the largest with approximately 8,000 employees. Our operation employees are often seen as the face of CTA. CTA operates an extensive bus network that covers various routes throughout the city and suburbs, carried out by our skilled bus operators who help keep the city of Chicago moving. Control Center. Our control center serves as the nerve center for managing and overseeing the operations of buses and trains throughout the transit system. This centralized hub is paramount in ensuring the safety, efficiency, and dependability of CTA services. Bus maintenance. Certainly, within the Chicago Transit Authority, the bus maintenance department has various roles, including bus mechanics, bus servicers, and managers, who are vital for ensuring the CTA buses are well maintained, safe, and operational. This department is indispensable because it ensures the safety, reliability, and cleanliness of Chicago's public transportation system. Rail operations and rail station management. The RO and the RSM operates an extensive rail system known as the L, short for elevated, which includes several lines serving various parts of the city and surrounding areas. Certainly, within the rail operations and rail station management, the various roles listed are necessary for the efficient functioning of the transit system. So I would like to go over some positions that are equivalent to MOSs in the military. So for example, bus operator. For the U.S. Army, a ADA Mike, which is a motor transport operator. And for the U.S. Marine Corps, 3531, which is a motor vehicle operator. For MOSs that involve maintenance and the repair of various vehicles, the Air Force has 2 Tango 3 X-Ray 1, which stands for Generation Vehicular Equipment Maintenance, or a Mike Machinist Mate with the Navy. Both MOSs are comparable to the duties of a bus mechanic for the CTA. Lastly, military leadership experience, along with specific requirements, can qualify you for various management positions. Next slide. Next slide.
I think you might be having some technical difficulties.
All right. No worries. Thank you, Lindsay. I appreciate it. Infrastructure. Infrastructure provides support to ongoing capital projects that involve all areas, from craft and trades to civil engineers to project managers. They maintain all our facilities and help with the general upkeep of transit stations across the city. Infrastructure is indeed divided into several parts to manage various aspects of its operations efficiently. Power and Way is responsible for the power supply systems that provide electricity to trains, including electrified third rails or overhead lines. This department also oversees the maintenance and safety of tracks, switches, and other rail infrastructure. Construction. The construction department handles significant construction projects related to expanding or improving CTA's infrastructure, which includes building new stations, renovating existing ones, and working on track extensions or upgrades. Engineering. The engineering department is involved in designing, planning, and overseeing the implementation of various infrastructure projects. Engineers work on new construction projects and the maintenance and improvement of existing transit facilities. Facility maintenance focuses on maintaining transit facilities, including bus and train stations, depots, maintenance garages, and administrative buildings. They ensure these spaces are clean, safe, and well maintained for passengers, staff, and equipment. Within infrastructure, as you can see, there are a diverse set of roles, from track workers and project managers to electricians and signal maintainers. For the role of a track worker, you are responsible for such tasks as track maintenance, construction, and equipment operations. Track workers work outdoors, often in challenging weather conditions, and collaborate closely with a team to uphold safety protocol, complete repairs, and respond to emergencies. Now I turn it over to Juan.
Hey, thank you, Tamika. Now what I would like to go over with you all is our administration side of the house, okay? Now, our administration roles make sure the day-to-day activities of the authority run smoothly, just like an admin specialist in the military would, to ensure the unit is good to go on the admin side. CTA offers the following departments: finance, safety, communications, human resources, which is a department I'm in, which houses many roles and positions, from talent acquisition specialists to admin specialists to marketing. You name it, we probably got it. And in those departments are these positions: specialists, coordinators, managers, and our senior managers. Now, I'm going to transition over to Tamika for our next slide.
Thank you, Juan. Technology. Our technology team delivers innovative, quality, and reliable technology solutions that focus on advancing CTA's mission while connecting its riding public and enhancing leadership experience. Enterprise application. The enterprise application team is responsible for technology solutions and across various departments within the organization. This department focuses on leveraging enterprise level software and systems to enhance efficiency, improve operations, and provide better services to both employees and passengers. Transit system support provides support to our major transit system projects, such as our LED bus tracker signs and systems that allow us to locate specific vehicles within our garages. Control center support is most critical to the bus and rail systems because they help our staff do things like track rail power and monitor alarms. Also, CCS view train schedules, run intervals, and communicate with bus operators to report incidents that occur. IT support and telecom services team ensures efficient operations of voice, data, and wireless networks, and supplies comprehensive support and guidance for all current and future communication needs. Next slide.
All righty, law. Now, the law department employs a wide spectrum of practitioners who provide advice in specialized areas, including real estate transactions, construction disputes, labor and employment, ethics requirements, and review of negotiation of grant agreements. The department also employs litigators who handle commercial disputes as well as lawsuits brought against the CTA. Departments within law are as follows. General Counsel. The Office of the General Counsel provides legal assistance to the CTA. The General Counsel heads the law department, which is comprised of 122 positions, including 55 attorneys. Some more departments include corporate law, torts, labor and employment, compliance, policy, and appeals. Positions within these departments are as follows: attorneys, legal assistants, paralegals, and project specialists. Next slide, please.
All right, thank you, Juan. CTA opportunities. To find the most up-to-date information on job opportunities with the Chicago Transit Authority, you can visit our career portal at the website on the slide. New job opportunities are posted every Friday, and job postings expire after 14 days. So it's imperative that you apply as soon as possible. On our career portal, you will be provided with information about the position, the expiration date, and for the majority of the positions, the salary will be posted. Also located on our career portal are upcoming job opportunities. As an FYI, job postings are based on personnel needs and budget, and therefore subject to change. Next slide. All right, military occupational specialties. Located on our Veteran Hiring Initiative page at the website listed on the slide, candidates will see CTA jobs currently matched to military occupational specialty codes from various branches of the armed forces. This list is continuously updated to reflect the most up-to-date job descriptions. Now I'll turn it over to Juan.
Thank you, Tamika. Now what I would like to go over with you all is my favorite part, the hiring process. Now, there are many steps to the hiring process, but no worries. We are here to help you the whole way. The average hiring process takes anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, but don't quote me on that, okay? Because certain cases can take longer. Remember how I said we're going to be there with you the whole way? We're going to ask that you check your email and status page constantly to find out what your next steps are to never miss a beat. Next slide, please. Thank you. Now, everyone, absolutely everyone, must apply online on our career site, which is www.transitchicago.com/careers. Once you get to this page, you're then going to select one of the following boxes. It's a blue box and a red box. The blue box are job postings for new candidates and former employees. So if you've never worked here, or if you have worked here and you're deciding to come back, this is the box you're going to want to access. Now, job postings for current CTA employees are going to be accessed through that, clicking that red box. So if you already work here, if CTA already paid you, please click the red box to apply for other positions. The first step after that is to fill out your profile. So you're going to select a job and click apply. And if you already have a profile, then all you have to do is log in. But if not, then go ahead and register. And remember to thoroughly fill out the entire profile, okay? During this time, you're also going to have the opportunity to set up profile alerts for job categories, all right? Now, the most important thing I can tell you all, regardless of the position you apply for, of course, is to upload your resume. Applicants can get rejected without a proper resume for some roles. Okay? But don't take any chances, all right? Now, if you have a resume, uploading it here will automatically populate your experience and education in the application. Or you can enter it manually as well. Just please ensure you enter all necessary information to the application. Lastly, complete your application. Add all personal information, tell us all about where you saw the opportunity, and make sure that you hit submit. Not just that, but don't forget to indicate that you are a veteran on the application. Next slide, please. Now, as much as I want to give you all the answers to the test, unfortunately, I can't. But I can give you some tips, okay? Assume the people reviewing your resume are not veterans. Unfortunately, not everybody served in the military. Remember that, okay? Because some managers will look at your resume and not know how to decipher it. So please make sure that you are including words that people outside of the military will understand. And with that, I'll let Tamika harp on that a little bit more. Tamika?
All right. Thank you, Juan. So, application tips. So, as we know, Juan went over it a little bit. The military has its own culture that many would not understand. So, here are some application tips for me that will help you during your job process. Translation of military skills to civilian terms. So, clearly articulate your military experience that a hiring manager can understand. Use civilian language of your skills, like saying or avoid military jargon. As an example, you may have something on your resume that might say, led 12-person combat infantry team through 6 successful missions. Instead of that bullet point, say, manage 12-person team in a fast-paced environment while meeting all organizational goals. Another example, as a sergeant for Bravo Battery. Translate that to supervise 35 team members within the organization and successfully train them on organizational skills. Additionally, ensure your resume highlight relevant skills and experience that aligns with the job you're applying for. Focus on accomplishments, leadership roles, and any transferable skills that are applicable to the position. Be prepared for the interview. So practice answering common interview questions using civilian terminology. Be ready to discuss how your military experience translates to the skills required for the job. Use the acronym STAR to structure your responses, which stand for situation, task, actions, and result. Next slide. Testing. Some, but not all jobs require some kind of testing. The types of testing we have are written, online, knowledge-based, skill-based, or practical tests. For example, a bus mechanic requires testing. For this position, you will have a written and practical examination administered. As an FYI, some positions only require a written or only get practical, while others need both. Next slide. Phone and video interviews. Sometimes a candidate may require to participate in a phone interview. The phone interview is just a chance for us to better assess your qualifications efficiently. The video interview is via Zoom. All positions will have at least one video interview with an HR representative and department manager. Typically, these interviews will take about 30 to 45 minutes, and we focus on your work history, education, and skills. Now I turn it over to Juan.
Thank you, Tamika. Alrighty, so interview tips. Review the job description before the interview and think about how you meet the requirements. Log in early to the interview to test your connection and video. Please, 15 minutes prior to 15 minutes prior. We already know that. Set up a quiet place to interview with minimal distractions, as best as you can. Wear appropriate interview clothing. Please dress appropriately. We're not asking you to dress in a three-piece suit or anything of that nature, but please dress appropriately. Present yourself in a polite and professional way, and provide answers about what you have done that demonstrate your experience and how you are of value to CTA. Next slide, please. Pre-employment. Now, the pre-employment process consists of a background check. You'll also go through our medical, and you'll also possibly have a fatigue and sleep apnea awareness course done, in which you will receive a certificate from. Now, our background check allows us to verify the information you share with us. Please do not hide anything. Be sure to disclose everything on your application to the best of your knowledge. If you don't, it can prolong the pre-employment process, ultimately affecting your start date. In our background process, you go through fingerprinting, an FBI check, an Illinois State Police check, and also through our HireRight system. During the medical, you may have to take a Department of Transportation physical, a human performance evaluation exam. You will definitely go through drug screening, and you will definitely have to provide COVID-19 vaccine proof or have an accommodation done, okay? Next slide, please. Tamika.
All right, thank you, Juan. The hiring process timeline. So this slide shows our hiring process timeline. So when you're ready to apply for a position, here's how you will see the process go. So step 1, application. Apply online to complete your profile and update your resume. Testing, if applicable. Follow the instructions that are emailed to you to take an online assessment. That's if it's applicable. Or schedule yourself for the testing invite that was sent. If you do not receive email instructions within 24 hours, check your spam or junk folder. Interview. Recruiters will contact eligible candidates to schedule interviews. This step usually takes place 1 to 2 weeks after testing. Offer. Your recruiter will contact you with an offer once the final determination has been made. Pre-hire. This part of the process, you will complete your pre-employment documentation, and this will be held at our headquarters. Physical, drug screening, background check. During this stage, you will go through your medical and background check. Generally, this step can take, on average, 4 to 5 weeks. Fatigue training, if applicable to the position. However, ensure to submit any outstanding documentation requested by the HR specialist or your task. Attend new employee orientation, the NEO. During the orientation, you will learn about the Chicago Transit Authority. Our new employee orientation is held via the Zoom platform, and you will be sent the link via email. If you don't receive the email the Friday prior to the start of NEO, the next week, it's imperative that you contact your recruiter before COB, preferably before 3 p.m. for assistance. Now I turn it back over to you, Juan.
Alrighty. Thank you, Tamika. And now what I would like to go over with you all are CTA's phenomenal benefits. CTA offers you full medical benefits, not just you, but also your family. It also offers my personal favorite, free transit on CTA, all CTA, PACE, and Metro. Pretty much you can get around everywhere here. Retirement options and a pension, paid training from day one. That's right, from day one, not after you get through with training, but from the first day. Ongoing professional development and career advancement opportunities that they share just about every hour of the day, which I absolutely love. Reasonable accommodations, and CTA qualifies for public service loan forgiveness. Provisions for military leave, including training. And to be honest, what makes me feel at home the most, which is why I love this company as dearly as I do, is the Veteran Employee Resource Group. Now, also known as VERG, it just offers that feel that went missing when I left the military, if that makes sense. We all know the transition can be tough, but the VERG, everybody in the VERG from day one made me feel right back at home. Like I never even left the Marines, to be honest with you. And it's amazing. And you could take a part of that too. With that being said, I'm gonna hand it back over to Tamika.
Next slide. All right. Are you ready to apply? If so, please visit our career portal and also check out our Veteran Initiative website for more information. Also, ensure you fill out your profile completely. Set up any profile alerts for job categories. Also, very, very importantly, upload that resume. Applicants can get rejected without the proper resume, as we spoke about earlier. However, there's no need to file another application if you have already done so. Lastly, any questions, submit them via the QA at the bottom of your screen. For application assistance or questions, contact us at veterans@transitchicago.com. Thank you. I do appreciate your time. And now I turn it over to Diamond.
Thank you so much, Juan and Tamika. I could just listen to you both talk about CTA jobs all day. My name is Diamond Scales, and I am the senior manager here at the CTA, and we will begin our Q&A questions. We did receive some questions in the chat, as well as we received several questions when you registered. So we'll start with the registration questions, and if time permits, we'll move to the chat. All right, Lindsay, you can upload the first. All right. So we'll start with the most important question here. And I'll give this one to Frank. Frank, they asked, what does the VERG, Veteran Employee Resource Group, do? You're on mute, Frank.
Trying to get off mute, my mouse wasn't clicking. So good afternoon once again. Our mission for the Veteran Employee Resource Group is to circulate up-to-date information on benefits, resources, and event specifics to the CTA veterans, right? We provide a networking opportunities such as mentoring, community outreach, career development, and internal cultural awareness activities. So that is pretty much what we have written down on paper. What it is, and Juan just talked about it, and Tamika talked about it as well, right? It's a group of like-minded individuals that are continuing along in their service. It's so we have that same sense of community and fellowship that one had while they're on military duty. We also help navigate through different obstacles that you may face, not only in the Chicago Transit Authority, but also within your life in general.
Thank you so much, Frank, for that response. So the next question that came in, and I'll let Jessica take this question, and any other members want to add, they can add as well. Jessica, tell us, how do you think your military experience prepared you for your career here at the CTA?
So as I mentioned earlier, I did serve in the United States Army. I was a diesel mechanic and a truck driver or 88 mic vehicle operator. So when I came to CTA, they had something similar pre-VERG, but VERG took it and ran with it. But it was a military recruitment similar to this virtual thing, a virtual career we're doing now. But my skills there were transferable here to CTA. I initially applied to be a bus mechanic, but at the time there was a hiring freeze, so I went into a part-time position, which was a customer service assistant. And about 9 months later, I saw a bus maintenance manager position, which is a management position, come up on the website, and I ended up applying, and those skills definitely transfer better than I thought they would. So I didn't end up becoming a mechanic, but I did end up becoming a bus maintenance manager and then a rail maintenance manager. So I was able to bring in my skills, my subject matter skills from being a truck driver and a mechanic, and I was able to actually help facilitate a lot of things in the department. Actually able to assist a lot of the mechanics that were new as diesel mechanics because of the skills that I had. So they transferred perfectly, if you ask me. So.
Thank you, Jessica. So veterans, what I'm hearing Jessica say, if you apply to bus mechanic and you may not get it, apply for manager, because that may be in the horizon for you. Frank, did you want to add anything?
Absolutely. That was very, Jessica did a good job with that. I'll just add some things that I wrote down and that, I've said over and over again, is that, in the military, we are taught attention to detail, right? And so many of the jobs that we have here require attention to detail. Understand that, especially in your operating positions and your maintenance positions, what we do to those vehicles and how we do it to those vehicles is not only important to us doing the job, but to those folks that are riding on our system, right? On our buses and our rail cars. So that attention to detail is something that the military helped me with, right? I came in as a higher level position, but even if you come in as in a entry level position, we always already understand that we know how to work as a team, and everything that you do here in the CTA is pretty much teamwork. You may work alone in some aspects of your position, but you're part of a bigger team, right? And what we know in the military, and as you move through the military, it's easy for us to transition between a leader and a support role. We do it all day, every day, right? Now, I was a command sergeant major, right? It's the highest non-commissioned officer you could be. I routinely went between a leader role and a support role almost every single day while I was on active duty. And that's what we do here as well. The other thing that I would like to highlight is that we are used to working with a diverse, multi-ethnic group of people. And that is what you're going to have when you work at the CTA. Right? Juan said it earlier about the diversity that we celebrate here in the Chicago Transit Authority. We're used to that. That's second nature to us. It's not like we're coming from someplace where we're totally isolated and we don't work with people that look like us or act like us or that. We already know that we're able to do that and fully function in that. And then we also, I think the last thing that I would say is that we also understand that the whole is more important than the part, right? So that sense of camaraderie, that sense of purpose, right? So in the military, our purpose is to accomplish the mission. Here, the purpose is to deliver safe, reliable transit. So we already take all of these skills we already have, and we move those into where we want to be hired with, is here in the Chicago Transit Authority.
Thank you so much, Frank and Jessica, for your response. So the next question we have, and I'm going to let our newest VERG members start, and then I'll let Frank and Jessica in. So the first part of the question is, what attracted you to the CTA? So Tamika and Juan, you want to talk about what attracted you to the CTA since you're two of the newest members of VERG?
Okay, I will go first one. What attracted me to CTA? So the Chicago Transit Authority stood out for other employers in terms of what I was looking, and also compensation and the benefit standard to me were up to my standard. So definitely that's what kept me with CTA.
Thank you, Tamika. Juan, you would like to add?
Yes, honestly, piggybacking off that, kind of the same thing, but just like I wanted to be a part of the best military organization this country has to offer, which is the Marine Corps, I wanted to be a part of the best transportation company that this country has to offer as well, which is the Chicago Transit Authority. And that's all I have to say about that. I don't need to really say much more.
Thank you, Juan and Tamika. Jessica and Frank, I'll turn it over to you too. What kept you here at the CTA?
For me, I'm not originally from Chicago. I actually came here as a veteran. I used to work at the North Riverside Armory, but at the time they were having furloughs. They were starting to furlough a lot around that time, about 2011, 2012. And I heard of the CTA. I never knew what a CTA was. I'd never seen passenger trains or anything, but they had a recruitment program just like this where they were telling us to come and apply. And I was hesitant at first, but then I came, and it's kind of similar to what you guys are doing now, but human resources has always been that point of contact where they used to call us. Even when you apply, they kind of give you updates like once a week or at least every Friday. If I wasn't calling them, they were calling me. They followed up with everything. And then just to see how 10, almost 11 years later, this company has so much professional development. Like I said, whether it's through your individual departments or just human resources reaching out, they have events. You could either see them out there for the marathons or supporting this diverse group of people that we work with. You literally get a lanyard for every type of thing that you can think of. Is so much for you to participate in, and that's what made me stay. At the time I had an option to go over to Amtrak and Metro with some of my other military buddies, but what CTA has done for me, I hadn't experienced that, being that this is my first ever civilian job. So I don't have a lot of experience in the workforce except for military and CTA, but I couldn't go anywhere else if I even wanted to because of the opportunities, the continuous opportunities, going from union as an employee that made $12 an hour, going straight to management 9 months later. It's just, you can literally start here and go anywhere you want to. So it's always been a positive experience. You have your own growing pains, but it's always somebody there that either help teach you, and then with the advancements of technology and CTA keeping up, if you don't get it in an email, it's some link you can get the information to, or via social media with Twitter, somebody always updating. It's never just all negative, so much positive things that you hear about with CTA, and that's been my experience.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Your story is amazing. Frank, would you like to add what kept you here at the CTA?
Sure. I guess I should go to what brought me to the CTA and then what kept me to the CTA. So there was one of my commanders said to me at one point that it's not always about who you know, it's who knows you. And so I had done 29 plus years in the military. I also worked for Mars Chocolate North America concurrently. So a lot of those last years were in the reserves. And one of the he was the chief safety officer at the time for the Chicago Transit Authority, called me up on the phone and said, "Hey, big fella, before you say no, I've got an opportunity for you that you're just going to love." And so I listened to what he had to say. And Mr. Dwayne Lane was a master in what I used to do in psychological operations, and said, "Hey, I know that you've recently retired from the military and you want to continue in your public service," which he was right. I had that longing to continue in my public service. And he said, "What we have to do is right in your wheelhouse. We're going to bring to the Chicago Transit Authority. We're going to partner with the Federal Transportation Administration, FTA, and be the first public transit agency to have SMS." And so By the time he finished that phone call, that's what brought me here. And what keeps me here is that what me and my team does makes a difference every day to create a healthy, safe work environment for our employees, our ridership, and our public. And I can continue in my public service in that capacity.
Thank you so much, Frank. Before we move to the next question, I did want to answer. There was a question or a couple of questions that came in through the chat, so I wanted to make sure that I touched base on there. So a few times people ask, should I apply to more than one position? The answer is yes. If your qualification meets more than one position, because there are some positions in the CTA that are similar. You just may be doing it on the rail side or the bus side, or you may be an admin in, the law department or HR. So if you have experience that matches more than one jobs that's posted, feel free to apply to every position that you would like that meets your resume. And then also, if you have any questions that are specific to your own situation, I ask that you email veterans@transitchicago.com. One of our veteran HR members will be responding to that email. We check it daily. So if you have questions related to your process, feel free to reach out and we can answer your question directly. So moving to the questions that came in. This is one that I'm excited to hear the response to this one, and I'll let any of the members on the call answer this question. What is something you think other veterans will be surprised to hear about working at the CTA?
I'll start real quick, if I may. Quite simply, that the structure is very much like the military. We have a hierarchy that is well established, and there's a sense of pride in everything we do.
I could say what surprised me, what attracted me. One of the things that attracted me is that your military time, of course, we always are thankful for our service, but you'd be surprised to know that you're able to bridge that into your vacation time. So you get credit for that military time and it counts towards vacation. So if you're brought on board and decide to apply, that's something that HR can, assist with, but you basically would either submit your DD 214 or NGB if you were a National Guardist, if I'm not mistaken, and then they will determine whether it's 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks. I know for me, I was able to submit it and I got 5 weeks and I didn't have to be here 20 years to get it. So that's something that you'd be surprised to know.
Thank you, Tamika. I'm sorry. Thank you, Jessica. Tamika or Juan, you want to add?
I would just say that, so many wellness events, there's so many things that you can participate with CTA in, and I actually blown away by so many events that has happened throughout the year. So that was a big surprise for me coming to the authority.
Honestly, I agree with everybody. I can't top all that. That's amazing stuff.
All right. Thank you so much, team. And then I'm going to end with one additional question, and this can be addressed to the entire team. So what additional tips, and this can be our last remark, what additional tips do you have for veterans who are applying for a CTA job?
I will start. I would say one thing I always tell employees or just candidates in general, make sure to read the job posting in its entirety. A lot of times people shy away from positions because they'll see that they'll instantly see degree. A lot of the times it'll say a combined experience or military experience on a lot of the job postings. So be sure to look at that. You'd be surprised you don't just need a degree for all of the positions, or even some of them. It's just you can combine a lot of your professional, just your career, your military, just whatever, and then apply and see where it goes. A lot of people count themselves out of a job before they've even gotten a chance to sit in front of a panel. So as they say, putting down that you're a veteran and then keeping that in mind are proactive tips that I even keep in mind myself when applying for things here.
Thank you, Jessica.
And I would like to add, Diamond, if I may.
Sure can.
Yes, and just to add on to what Jessica said, is just to know to do a self-assessment. Like take time to review your resume and take notes of what the minimum requirements are when you're looking at the job description. Make those comparables and apply. Definitely if you see if you meet those minimum requirements, definitely apply for that position.
Thank you, Tamika. Frank, you want to add a closing?
Sure. So one of the things that I would say is make sure that you do identify that you are a veteran. Back in the day, when I was coming up, it wasn't always something that folks wanted to do, right? They were worried that their veteran status and or their continued service in the reserve capacity is something that employers would not like. It's just the opposite in this organization. We're actively looking for those individuals. The other thing that I would say is, avoid those acronyms that folks use and speak in clear, simple terms to identify what you do. And I know Tamika talked about it earlier when, instead of saying I was a squad leader that led a rifle team, you say I was a leader of a diverse team of highly trained professionals. Right. So that's saying the same thing, right? That's what you actually did. So, and then everything they said, do read the job posting and make sure that you can identify and look at that. Now, sometimes you may find that you are not the chosen candidate for this position, but they have identified that there may be another job that's being posted that you probably should put in for. So that's all I got.
Thank you so much. Well, if no other members have any thing to add to the questions, that concludes all the Q&A. Thank you so much. I'm going to pass it back over to Lindsay to close us out. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Diamond, for facilitating that. Thank you to all of our friends on the call today, to Frank and Jessica, Tamika, Juan, and of course, Diamond. Thanks to the team for putting this event on. Thank you to our attendees for joining us today. We hope to see applications from many of you in the near future. If you have questions about anything you heard today, you can also email us at ctacareers@transitchicago.com. But we thank you for your time and we wish you all the best of luck in your application to CTA. With that concludes our presentation for today. So yeah, best of luck, everyone.
Have a great and safe day.
And happy late Veterans Day to all the veterans.